playing music, you have to realize that some people have been playing music for quite a long time, and some people have been playing music for quite not a long time. When talking in this manner, what I mean is this. You will always meet somebody who tells you or tells other people how much they know about music. And in my experience, knowing a little thing or two about music theory, I find it very interesting, very, very interesting that when I meet people that have been playing for a long time, they do not know just music basics. And one of the things about the music basics that I would like to just point out, maybe it would be relevant, maybe it's not, is that from a standpoint of music, music itself is just a collection of different terms, different ideas. It's not really anything that's like solidified. There are certain things that certain musicians and certain people that play do as a function of. However, it's not always set in stone, meaning you can still break the rules. That's one of the things about music. It's fundamentally still able to be a little bit different, meaning one of the things that we do is we can confuse basic music theory as a regimen or a set of rules that we need to adhere to. And that isn't necessarily always the case. So today we're just going to do a checklist and talk about some things like that. Theory. If I could spell today, that'd be wonderful. And hopefully this stuff is legible. You can see it right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to grab my iPad, interact with the group today. If you have questions about basic music theory and you want to put a little something out there, that'd be super awesome. Other than that, check out this channel if you have an opportunity. If you'd like to subscribe or, become a member. Come to one of the workshops. We're starting October 7th from 12:20 to 1:20 each week. You'll have myself being able to answer questions Q&A style. If you'd like to support the channel, but you cannot make it on Tuesdays, become a member, support the channel at that tier level. And then maybe if you could, just enter a few kind of questions that you're looking to do. So one of the really cool things that I'm looking to do is become a little bit more proficient on how I explain things. And really the only way to do that is to interact with people. And I've got 30 plus students right now, and I'm always looking to improve the way that I communicate with not only myself, but with others. So let me get this silly ring out of the way. So today we're just going to talk about 5 things that might or might not be things that you are doing in your own time that might be a mistake. Don't get so overwhelmed with theory. What is theory, and then how to apply it in the beginning. The whole idea is just an observation of a collection of different things that people that are musicians do, whether you lived in the 40, 400, or now living in 2025. There's a different amount of norms and realms that we go through. And tell you what, if you want to throw a little super chat out there, that would be amazeballs. The only idea is you do not have to. I just want people to really enjoy the channel. And if you enjoy the channel, then we are having fun. So secondary thing we're going to talk about today is neglecting ear training. So oral skills, A-U-R-A-L, skills. I'm going to spell with a Z. Why? I'm hip, young, and fresh. When talking about oral skills, we're talking about being able to hear intervals, how to hear chords or triads, being able to name them as such. When you get through the music theory thing and you kind of feel good about it, nerding out like I love to do, how many sharps and flats are in the key of B? There are 5 sharps in the key of B. There are 2 flats in the key of B flat. The reason why is I know that B sharp, a hypothetical key, would have 5 double sharps and 2 sharps. And I know that doesn't seem relevant, but when you know hypothetical keys that you would never really write in, I would never write in B sharp. I would write in the key of C. No sharps and flats. Much easier. However, I haven't taken my musical writing to that next level. Maybe I will one day. Blah, 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 blah. So another thing is just, I'm going to put memory. And memory is actually an interesting one, because memory regarding like being able to have a function of vocabulary words, being able to go in and out of, hey, what's up, Summer? How you doing? Hello to you. If you're going in and out of like music and you just want to write a couple songs, you want to know what some chords are, absolutely. Learn the circle of fifths, learn what chords are in a certain key, and that's really all you need as far as theory goes to be able to start writing. Music analyzation would lead you to a place where you would be able to start listening to songs and go, well, what key is this in? What is this? What's the second key in this song? What am I playing? And then generally, if you have 2 or 3 keys together, they fit into a family of keys. Today we're going to be talking about 5 things that help you not make those basic mistakes as a beginner player. What am I doing? Oh, thanks, bro. Or sis. Talking about 5 mistakes that players make in the beginning that necessarily kind of hold you back. And the whole idea is how to view those mistakes. It's not the mistakes themselves, it's how we move on from there. I'd like to welcome everybody that's here. What's up, Capillara? Tucker, thank you for being here. Summer, feel free to ask questions about these things. The third thing that we're talking about here just has to do with memory. Sometimes you memorize things in music that are the wrong thing. Why would you blindly memorize something that you're never going to use? Like, I don't use negative harmony all the time. And the reason why I don't use negative harmony all the time is because it's one of the last things that I learned how to actually do. Taking the circle of fifths, shifting the balance of where all the push and pull is between the tonic and the dominant. And I would not have even been able to understand what negative harmony is if I wouldn't have just had a baseline idea of what music theory foundations are. So the idea is, don't memorize something you're not going to use. Wait till later and enjoy the spectacle of it then. That's when it becomes fun. Another really cool is thinking. Thinking stifles creativity along a certain point. So what we're looking for is motor skills. Skills! Oh my goodness. 2 skills, both with Z's, because I'm young, hep, and fresh. When we're talking about these things, we're trying to see that all music is the same thing. What up, Mr. Pt.1? When we're talking about these things, we basically, we see them on our own level for potential. And I'm not going to get into something that's like an external observation, but most people that I talk to have everything to say about everything, but they have no clue how electricity works. When you say, how does electricity work? So like, oh, you flip on the switch. No, but how does that work? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, what we do in America, what we do in the EU, what we do in Afghanistan. It is different on how people source energy. If you don't know how photovoltaic cells are made and how we capture sunlight and photons from the sun, the big glowing ball of helium and plasma, how would somebody pontificate about how much they know about in life when they don't know how the basic functions work? And here's the reason why. Ask any man how the woman's reproductive system works. Chances are they won't be able to name one vital part of it. And that's the truth of the American education system. Anywho, back to music, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, you're learning trumpet? How are you doing? Do you enjoy it? Where are you? You beginner right now? Do you have a teacher? Can you get through a whole scale? Do you know how to modulate? There's so many fun things to talk about with instruments. Do, 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 do. All right, so that thinking sometimes creates and stifles activity, and here's the reason why. Let me show you. Let me pick up my git fiddle and lay something on you. Folks, can I lay something on you before we get to that 5th fact? So, somebody want to name a tune, or maybe we could just, oh, your mom's teaching you, wonderful. And she plays, or does she do other music and understands music theory as well? Oh, right on. Well, then there's another channel. Maybe go watch Marty Music. It's this guy that's like, diddly, 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 and then put some charts down below. It's really amazing. Or Danny Spacco. He makes fun of other players like myself, which is really fun too. Or go check out Sight Reading Drums, which is lots of fun. You can do hand clapping exercises, whatever level you're at. Or go watch Music Matters and learn some music theory. Oh, that's right. You don't want to learn music. Well, I guess keep complaining in the comment section then. So here's a bossa nova feel. Now, there's not really a lot going on here besides just a D minor and a walking bass line. Move these, right? You can have a walking bass line and go back to that groove. Now, just by talking about what I was just doing there, I realized there are just a million things that I wanted to do with that. So when I go up to the board, I think, what did my theory tell me about that? Oh, D minor. D minor with the G in the bass, D minor and C. I think that I'm probably in the key of B flat. And if I'm in the key of B flat, that would make sense that those are all there and those are all minor feeling. But quite possibly I could be stealing chords from another key. That's why the circle fifths is really important. And we can talk about that through our theory thing. I'm gonna give a couple basics on each one of these and how to do them. This whole lesson's gonna be about 35 minutes, then I'm gonna open it up for questions, Q&A, and just hang out with people that are in the comment section. Can we remember to keep it classy and clean? I have students to watch this. I don't wanna have to go back and re-edit this because somebody in the comment section is having a bummer of a day. Leave if you don't like it. Other than that, enjoy it. Here we go. Our fifth and final mistake that many people do is ignoring the foundation of your elements. So you always have a foundation. Foundation is a lesson. So the person that's in the comment section right now, if you don't play an instrument, this probably isn't the channel for you. But if you do play an instrument, and if you've never slowed your roll just to like zip your lips and then go, maybe I can learn something rather than always talking. Now, I get this because I do pontificate a lot, but I've done my time. I know my circle fifths inside and out. I know basic music foundations, and that's what I want to show you today. So have fun. Boom, bow. Yo, Linda, what's cracking? You're on C and D? Excellent. I have a friend that's doing trumpet right now, and what I'm watching, I don't play trumpet, I don't do valves or brass. I've always really wanted to, and until like 5 years ago, I really didn't even understand how to get in the process of doing the embouchure for the mouthpiece. I do play woodwinds, which I enjoy an awful lot, and nobody ever told me this, but when you hum the note you're trying to achieve, well, and I know I have this silly beard, but with the vibration of them lips, also, with being able to do that physically is very, very interesting. Guess what? Nobody's good at anything. It takes practice. If you are good at something, do that for the rest of your life to make income. I just stumbled into teaching here on the island because it was desperately needed, and I wanted to transition out of labor, stop using my physical activity and use my brain a little bit more. As you can see, I'm a hypo. It really is a lot of fun to teach children and adults alike basic music theories at a college level and then have them enjoy their external world just a little bit more because we've talked about these. So I can relate all of these to anything. That's what I do. I could talk about science, I could talk about religion, I could talk about all these different things. But the truth is music is music. And I feel like I am music. So if you are music, this is the station for you. Subscribe, become a member. Join us on Tuesdays. Become a member and ask questions. Be a part of our Q&A. The comment section in those lessons are amazing. They're private, only for members, and you get to pick my brain. And thank you. Oh, thanks to you. Sorry, I gotta ban you, buddy. Aloha. So, what we're going to talk about are the theory, oral skills. We're going to talk about memorization, and then motor skills, and then foundations of lessons. So, what I want to do is talk about the fifth right now. When you get a foundation by getting lessons, you are supporting a teacher of any sort, an educator, somebody who, regardless of their level, they're trying to perform and practice. That's the stage I'm in. I've almost perfected being able to have 100% effectivity rate on getting people to want to practice, to want to learn musical theory concepts, and then to move on from there. And they're all based off of the foundation. So the foundation is lessons from an instructor or online, something like this where you are interactive. And then the idea for your foundation is 5 minutes. You must Elon Musk, must play 5 minutes a day. When you wake up, pick up your instrument or go to your music notepad and draw the circle fifths. Look up some vocabulary words. Take a music quiz for 5 minutes. Anything you do for 5 minutes, it puts your brain in the foundation mode. You will go back and reflect on all your lessons. For every single one of my students, when they pay me money to educate them, I not only give them a 30-minute lesson, which is based off of a syllabus, as you can understand, because I love bullet pointing and explaining, and then we go into the process of showing people how to practice the practice of practicing. So our foundation, essentially, is getting lessons from somebody who has the skills that you want, using those skills to practice for 5 minutes, and then the foundation is, I'm just going to put practice cubed. I hope that makes sense for later people. Practice the practice of practicing, folks. You can't get better at anything as a human if you do not practice the practice of practicing. The reason why I'm able to go through my whole circle of fifths, and the reason why I'm able to say to my kids, hey guys, how many sharps and flats are in the key of G? And everybody's like, there's one. How many notes are there in a diatonic scale? There are 7. If you take away that one sharp that's in the key of G, how many flats are in the key of G flat? And every one of my students can say there are 6 flats in the key of G flat. G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F. And the reason why they can is we have gone through the process of training our brain. That is where we're going to talk about number 3 for memorization. When you are trying to train yourself to do something as a Hey, what's up, Gemma? How goes it? How are you doing on this grand morning? Saturdays, huh? I bet you a lot of people are off from school, hanging out. Some people do want a lesson, some people don't. Today we're talking about the foundation. Go get yourself lessons. If this channel is the lessons thing, make it known to the person that's running the channel that you're a new player and you want to learn. They might have packages or something. If you're like playing trumpet, like, who mentioned that? Coyote? Was that you up there? Yeah. If you're learning how to play that trumpet up there, and I don't play trumpet, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to go to you and tell you to check out a channel. And if I don't know one off the top of my head, I will go back in this and I'll put it in the comment section so you can find it, or I'll post it onto the community. I want you to succeed. Oh yeah? Yee. Not to dox you, but we're boots, like Midwest, up north, in the ocean like me. Memory. So what we're talking about is when you memorize something, you can be able to regurgitate it. So when I sit down for my instrument, I no longer have to do this, which is, I still do, but these are my spider exercises. I warm myself up in the morning by doing these, and then maybe I'll work on some rhythm ideas. I'll go over some concepts for pentatonics. I'll work on moduses, like I'll be like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. See, I can't talk as fast as my brain thinks. I know that that's an F sharp, and I know that when I go here that I'm going to be playing my 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, flat 7, 6, flat 6, 5, flat 5, 4, major 3rd, minor 3rd, major 2nd, minor 2nd, tonic. All of that legwork is already done. I've already memorized that. So by doing the foundation, getting lessons, practicing for 5 minutes, practicing, you are memorizing motor skills which help you with your theory, and then when you put it in contact with oral skills, you've got the full package. So the whole idea behind this is, it's not one thing that makes you a better musician, it's all of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the oral skills foundational part right here, and we're going to tie that in with music theory, but don't let it be lost on you. All 5 of these are mistakes that people in the beginning, oh, right on, thanks for 7, who is this? Reed's Guitars, oh my gosh. Do you play or do you make guitars? I love luthier stuff. Wood turning and epoxy and acrylic stuff, like where people make really amazing stuff with wood. That's my YouTube crack. I love it. It used to be musical theory stuff, but now I've just got so many things inside my brain. I'm working on my own platform for theory. But who cares about me, really? Let's say hello to the comment section here. Thanks for being here, Reed's Guitar. Thank you for subscribing. Is learning theory worth it? It just depends on what you want to do with it. Let me see if I can pronounce the name. Brotocoda. Yes and no. It just depends on what your level of interaction is. I live on an island where most people do not know any music theory, know a couple chords, and everybody has fun playing together. If you want to create melodies and then start to see the things that are just the basic foundation of music theory on other things, then yeah. I love musical theory analyzation because by analyzing, I don't know, Debussy, or Frank Zappa, or Nine Inch Nails, or anything. By analyzing what those notes are, I'm always in a constant state of musical awareness, even to the fan that's humming behind me and what note it's in, to thinking about, like, when I need to do laundry later today, that the bing, when it goes off, is an E. And that, how do I find that in my mind's eye and hear how I could have, hear how I was off by a major 2nd? I'm always relative to the pitch, but I'm never on the pitch. I don't have perfect pitch, which is a bummer because I like to sing and I like to play, but the whole idea behind that is I work on number 2, oral skills. And that's kind of what I want to explain here right now. If anybody has a piano with them, please pause the video, come back to it later. You can do the catch-up thing. Do these with me. These are how you build your voice, and if nothing else, this is an oral skills check 101 for any college level course. Ready? We're gonna maybe do it on how do you tune your guitar? Cool. Let's do it on guitar. I'm going to show you how to practice your oral skills along with an instrument. Now, the guitar was just referenced by GLX. GLX, are you subscribed? I'd love to see you subscribe. Also, if you want to, feel free to throw me a super chat out there if you have money. If not, no worries. And I do have a question. How many people in chat play? And what? How many people? How many people in the chat play? Well, so we're just gonna show this through the eyes. I'd like to say hello to Jeff. Oh, Shelly, I didn't say hello to you. How you doing there? Kabaya, if you're still with me, I hope that you dig on it. And then to answer the question, and how do I tune my guitar, and do I need theory? No, you don't. Most people don't need theory to be able to play and have fun. However, if you want to get really good at something, sometimes it makes sense. Here, let me play something intricate and hard. Well, kind of. That is a little intro from a song called Clap by a gentleman named Steve Howe for a band called Yes. They're a fusion rock band, progressive. That song, when I listened to when I was 14 or 12, first time I heard it, I was like, oh, I have to learn how to play that. I didn't even play the guitar at that point. I just was enjoying playing pianos every once in a while. That relatively took me maybe closer to a decade to put together. And now there are weirder parts in the whole thing, and it's hard. My first instrument was saxophone, buddy. I totally agree with you on that one. Alto, by the way. So I didn't understand how to modulate or transpose or do any of that. So do you need music theory? I guess the answer is just it really depends on what you want to do. But to just pick up an instrument and start jamming on it, absolutely not. There's this little itch that happens for certain people that are like, ooh, that makes sense, so what then? Ooh, this makes sense, so what then? I didn't really understand science or chemical equations or the Rutherford, what was that called? Where you change valence levels with different chemicals and you see compounds and ions and you can see how different things are created. It never made sense in high school. After I learned music theory, I went back and looked at chemistry, and it made a lot more sense because I knew how to process information differently. It changed my view on how to actually bullet point things, have critical thinking skills, and take away the best part of it. So, like, if I was reading a book when I was like 14 to 21, I necessarily wouldn't have got the point of the book or the hero's journey or known where the apex of the story was because I didn't know how to look for those things. I guess that would make... Oh, you cool. You play trumpet as well. Do you have a website that you would recommend? Up top, Coyote was talking about playing trumpet. They're working on C and D now, just getting the notes to come out in the armature. I'd like to recommend a website. But yeah, oral skills, a great way to do that, as I aforementioned, is to learn the circle fifths. C major, G major, G major. When we go through these, they all have 7 notes. Now, those 3 patterns were exactly the same. When I tune this instrument, I know that the guitar, this one's for you, by the way, GLX. When I tune the guitar, I want to be playing a low E. So the whole idea is to feel that E. That E is called an E2. And the reason why, it's not the lowest E, the E1, and it's not the highest E on the piano, the E8 or E7. So when we're going to here, this is our E. I generally see if my top E is kind of in tune. And the reason why it's super fun to do this is when you follow this channel, you notice that I give these out all the time. And these. Shaka ratcha. These are spider exercises. What it is the first finger on the first fret, second finger, second fret, third finger, third fret, fourth finger, fourth fret. When I talk about number 5, our foundation, this is something that you do every day for 5 minutes. Right when you start your day, you work on downstrokes maybe 1 whole week, and then you work on upstrokes. You work on keeping your fingies out, keep on keeping your fingies in. Keep on maybe just keeping that pinky out, you put them all in again. You work on different ways of feeling the upstrokes with your pick. You play with the pointy end, you play with the flat end, you play with the dull end. You play with all of them. You learn how to play everything with your pick. When you're playing notes like no notes are right, all notes are wrong. All notes are right at the same time. Where are you going? It's like quantum music is. When you start to learn it, you see that theory, oral skills, memorization, and foundations of this pattern idea just... Notice how whenever I play anything, my fingers stay within these 4 frets. When I move up, they also stay here in these 4 frets. They might go down a half step or they might go up a half step with that outer finger, but that just gives me more places to move around. And believe it or not, all of these little quadrants, they all meet together. And when you go all the way to the 12th fret, it repeats. So because the guitar is tuned in force, if you just walk your spider exercise up and then hit that next note, that's an A, 440. Boom! And it is exactly the note right above. So if you tune this to E, play at the 5th fret, you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, whole step, half step. Those are the first 3 intervals between a major scale, diatonic 7, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In betwixt the tonic, the 1, the foundation, the major 2nd, and then the major 3rd, you have a whole step. There is a note in between these, but you don't want to go, you don't want to hit those minor seconds. You want to hit the major seconds, the bigger accumulation. Sing a song that's like, my collar's blue, but my neck is red. Collar's blue, my neck is red, my collar's blue, my neck is red. I'm feeling pretty good, I'm feeling pretty good, I'm feeling pretty good. Theory. So, when we're playing stuff, theory, oral skills, memory, motor skills, and a foundation help. When playing 1, 2, 4, and 5, that fret is the A above. Well, do it again on the A string. A sharp, B sharp, C sharp, D. When you go to the 5th fret, the note above is going to be a D. You can even play them both together and then reach your hand over to do fine tuning until both of those wavelengths are on or as close to the same thing. So the whole idea, I said hi to you, the invisible snake I can read. Sounds slow like country. Oh yeah, I can do it as a country song. Hey, let me get through this idea and I'll play you a country song. So when we do our D string, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, F sharp, G, that G is the same as the next string right above it. So when you play them, they should be in sync. Both of those wavelengths should feel good. The next one, however, on a guitar is the interesting one. We do not do this to the 5th. That would be a B sharp. We don't want that. That would be a C. What we want is the B. So we go up a 3rd. Cool? So instead of going up a 4th, we only do a 3rd. It lands us on the 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3 on the 3 string, the G string. And then we revert back to that after these 2 B's are together. And then we go back. And then up to the 5th fret on the B string gives us an E. And then that E, not that we're tuning up, but if we add another string above the E, which we do not, we would have it as being an A. Long story short, why? It's in force. All right. Oh, cool. Yeah, write some lyrics out. Make them appropriate. Don't write anything crazy in the comments section. I'll see if it has meter to it, and then I'll put it together with a key signature of your choice when we get to the theory part talking about the circle fifths. So, now that we know how to tune a guitar, it's tuned in force, the reason why music theory could be important is because what I just did was they said play a song, and I did nah. I hit a chord or a note that could be from a triad. I didn't know what key it was in, and I hit a G. I blended the two ideas. If I hit you can actually move around chords inside of here, whether you're inside of the diatonic scale or you're using something called a chromatic scale. It uses all of those minor seconds, those half steps that we aforementioned. So The basics of music theory when having a guitar in tune and then working on aural skills goes as such. We're going to talk about this circle fifths in just a moment, but here's what it looks like. This is a type of scale on an instrument. You can do it on piano. You can do it on anything that allows you to do a Western ear diatonic scale. If you are working with microtonal music or you're working in the Western ear, or the Eastern ear, I would suggest picking the place and the provenance or the general geographic location onto which the music you're wanting to learn is, and then learning that music from the standpoint of their theory. I play Sanshin right now, which is a Eastern instrument, and to be able to understand Sanshin, it can't be viewed through the Western ear. It must be viewed through the Eastern precipitation of music theory. It's very similar, but you will learn a lot about yourself and music and language and other people's culture as a result. I hope that's fun for you. Other than that, watch what I'm about to do here. Countless hours of playing a single octave scale. These scales are, oh wait a minute, would everybody hit the like button that's there? I see nobody's hit the like button. It must be crazy. Somebody in here must be enjoying this, right? When we're doing these scales, we are playing a function of whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and half step. So no matter where you do that from, it forms a scale called an Ionian mode. The first foundation of all music is being able to play this. Because as an analyzer of music, the music itself is analyzed through the major function. Let's see. My collar's blue, but my neck is red. Work like a dog, keep my family fed. Living off energy drinks, Marlboro Reds. Swear this has station. You're already a musician. I see that line has prose. So what means is that has it's called a motive in music, M-O-T-I-V-E. When you write something that has a meter or a function like 4/4, and then you put it to a genre, like I think we were talking about country music, it can be played in any key and has kind of like, if I did it slow, my collar's blue and my neck is red, I work like me, my family friend, I'm feeding on all in energy drinks and Marlboro Reds. Well, man, I can make a whole bunch of fun with that. And then the whole idea for me is with music theory, aural skills memorization, if I don't like it in that key, let's put it in D. If I don't like there, let's put it in E. And being able to see it all around the fretboard is a lot of fun as well. So with aural skills, one of the things that we're generally trying to do is develop some sort of mental memorization process. So when doing something like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp. All of that is memorized. It is regurgitated without even thinking twice about it, forwards and backwards, like you would assume. And the reason being is, if you are watching this right now, you must find this interesting on some level. Try this with your friends, try it with your family. Say something along the lines of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then say it backwards. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now do the same thing with the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F. F, G. Our brains kind of blank out with the alphabet. There are rarely any students that I have that I do this that are able to just be like, you know, blah 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 blah. So when I look at music, I look at my circle of fifths, I look at the alphabet of the 7 notes in a musical alphabet, and then I try to see them as sticking together as buddies. And that's what we're about to talk about right here. But I want to finish up on the aural skills portion. Most musicians that I meet, when I tell them to do this, have never thought about it. And it breaks my brain to see this because everybody loves singing. I find a lot of people have really great voices. They just don't have the confidence in them because they've never practiced them. So what I try to do as a facilitator of education and a vocal specialist, pull out that quiet voice inside, give them a little bit more foundation of musical theory, and have them sing from the diaphragm, breathing techniques, and then put it together with their instrument. Oh boy! After a couple sessions, we always see an improvement. So here's what a normal vocal aural skills session would look like for me. See how I'm going through all the notes and the intervals? Go one to each one of those. Your ear will start being trained for those intervals. Once you got the process of how to play a scale and you know your notes, you can even go to that same note scale, play it further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Ooh. What happens when you play a full scale from the third scale degree in the key of C? Ooh, that's a modus called Phrygian, E Phrygian to be exact. Off of every key signature we do this. We have ourselves 7 notes, and within those 7 notes, if you sing, you can sing a major scale but play a Phrygian mode. So your ear starts to hear what it means to move dyads. Thirds. Major third, minor third, major third, major third, minor third, minor third. When we do this, we have a better understanding for tertiary harmony and how chords are created. Because when we hear the C and E together, the D and the F, and the, see what I'm saying? We start to get more of appreciation for the chords that are in the key signature. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and then C again. So when being able to do those things, moving through these, and starting to see that our chords, C major is everywhere all over this fretboard. It really makes sense to have a little foundation. The takeaway from that is, if you want to get good at oral skills, and you want to hear yourself singing over the top, it might make sense to start hearing notes and sing them. So C, let's say, how about perfect fourths? What is a C with a perfect fourth? That feels weird, doesn't it? But that is exactly right on. That is how you use oral skills, and you hear these, because these are the consonances, these are the diminished or the augments, but they give you a dissonance. Not every dissonance is really bad, you know? But when you add a common tone to it, like a C major to that dissonance, you get a really pretty chord, don't you? And then when you use them together, with a little bit of dissonance, you get to start creating music. And then the last thing I'm going to leave us on here was the aforementioned circle fifths. I just really want us to see it. I'm not going to go into a huge explanation because this channel is all about music. If you don't, hey Rach, if you don't know about the circle of fifths, please subscribe. And if you're trying to go through this and you're trying to go as fast as you can for music theory, I would say take one thing at a time. Have fun with those. Wow, Wegger, you're live at 9. Nice. Yeah, got out there. Gabe, how you doing, man? I was thinking about you yesterday. I'm going to hop off. Hey, thank you for subscribing, Reed's Guitars. I hope you see you soon. And I'm going to go check out your channel because you have music stuff in your screen name. I hope you have a great day. Be well. Remember, it only takes 5 minutes a day to do awesomeness. This is my favorite Euclidean shape, a sphere. When I take the key of C major, there are no sharps and there are no flats, which means, there are no sharps and flats, which means when we do our 1, our 2, our 3, our 4, our 5, our 6, and our 7, we're talking about do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This is our tonic. This is our major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, and then it goes back to a P8, which is our octave right here. I don't write it out because there aren't 8 notes in a scale. There are 7. I don't want any of my students or myself to get confused, so I just don't. And when we view this, what we're talking about is a key signature which has no sharps and flats, meaning when you see the treble clef and there is nothing on this stave, we have C major. When we have this treble clef and you see a sharp or one of our accidentals, meaning this way when we go, it is sharping or augmenting, and then this way when we go down, we do diminishments and it's with flat notes. So these are our accidentals. When we do our flats, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and then C flat, we are progressively doing 4 notes away, C, D, E, F. Once doing that, these 4 notes move in a circle. 1 flat, that flat is B flat. Therefore, when you have the stave like this, the middle line is the B. When you keep going, we add on. So E flat, or B flat rather, would have 2 flats. When you keep going, you would add 3, so on and so forth. So what you should do when trying to do this is not do the whole circle like I'm doing right now, showing this in the circle of fifths or the circle of fourths. You should just take one key and say, oh, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C again. When you see those notes, you will see that C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C are all part of it. And then most of you are going, hey, Wego, you just drew the 8th note. On the staff, I will absolutely draw that note. If I'm not writing it on the staff, I do not talk about that note as being the octaves. When going through the rest of this, we would have 5 notes up, C, D, E, F, G. G has 1 sharp before mentioned, the F sharp. And then when you start layering on all of these notes, what you'll find is some of them have 2 names, like the F sharp is a G flat, the C sharp is a D flat. When we see that each one of these layers on, you can point to one of these and go, well, what key has 1 sharp? G, it's F. What key has 2 sharps? G has 1, D has 2, F and C, A has 3, F, C, G. E. You just need to learn where to place them. So when you get down to something like F sharp right here, you would have your stave. G has 1 sharp, D has 2, A has 3, E has 4, B has 5, and then our last one that we go, what's right after F, C, G, D, are A. Well, what happens right after there? We have 1 more, don't we? We need to go up here and throw it on. That's what F sharp, or its relative minor, looks like. D sharp minor. This has been an introductory to the circle fifths. The whole idea is when you try to overcomplicate what you do not know about a function, it becomes washed out by too much information. So what I would say that would behoove you, theory isn't needed to play music, but if you have a little bit and a small foundation, you can work upon it. You get that foundation from taking lessons, practicing 5 minutes, and practicing the art of practicing. 5 minutes a day doing something with you can practice will inevitably help you. The reason why is we're searching for being able to do oral skills and motor skills at the same time. The whole point of having oral skills and having motor skills is so you do not have to think while playing music. The one thing that is a deterrent while trying to improvise or trying to flow through a progression is thinking too much. So the reason why musicians practice the practice of practicing is to have an automatic motor skill or some sort of response to something in real time. That essentially is what you need. Some people have it naturally, some people don't. I definitely did not have it naturally. It took me a long time to work on rhythm, and theory's only as fun as you make it. So if you had a good time today, subscribe, put something cool in the comment section. If you are on an instrument and you need help, join us on Tuesdays from 12:20 to 1:20 where we have group sessions. Become a member today and have fun. I hope you share this channel. Aloha to you. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
How goes it?
That was awesome, Michael.
Oh, there you go.
Do you mind if I use the restroom?
Not at all.
It's this one?
It is. It's the white one.